Welcome to the Vol Bros presented by the Ooltewah Club. My name is Evan. This is my brother Ruston, and we are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life. We so appreciate you joining us this evening. We are also proud to represent the University of Tennessee on the Believe Entertainment Network. I've already got a lot of people in the comments, and I love that. And so I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say. Ruston, let's start with you. As everybody knows, we always do three things. We give our general thoughts and takeaways. We identify our player of the game and our play of the game. So I'd like to hear your general thoughts about what you saw yesterday.
Well, first of all, I want to say that it was nice to see Joey Aguilar do it against somebody that matters. And huge kudos to Josh Heupel, Joey Halsley, Coach Luttrell, Landry Jones. All the guys who are in that quarterback room have done a phenomenal job developing Joey. He still lapses into some of his old tendencies. His first interception was definitely that, but the kid plays crazy hard. He's trying to make every read. He does a great job hitting his check downs when they're there. They have done a fantastic job with him. And yesterday it was the moment was not too big. He performed at a very high level. Some of the 50-50 balls he throws, I'm okay with because our receivers are competing, and he's going to lose some. There's going to be some throughout the year that they're not going to come down with, but overall, those guys are fighting, and I hate to compare to last year, but I didn't see our receivers last year fighting like this year's receivers are. So that's a nice development to see, and I'm not just talking about Chris Brazzell. Braylon Staley is fighting to get open. Mike Matthews is fighting to get open. The Smith kid, Rodarius Jackson, they were fighting to get open yesterday. There's a lot more competing in this group than what I saw from last year's group, and they're just going to get better and better.
Well, to your point there, in the second half, comeback route to Mike Matthews, the defender was between Matthews and the ball.
Yeah,
Mike Matthews fought through him to catch the ball.
And Joey trusted him that he would, because when you watch, the timing on that throw, when Joey let go of it, it was not in his favor. But he trusted that Mike Matthews would come back and win it. That's a huge thing. Nico would not have thrown that ball. He would have held it. He didn't have that trust in his receivers.
You're 100% right on that.
And so there's a level of trust there that's really, really healthy and speaks to what's happening in those team meeting rooms. I'm going to say this, and I already know if anybody from Georgia is watching this, they're immediately going to start talking about excuses. There are no excuses. We had 3 opportunities to win. Kudos to Gunnar Stockton and London Humphreys, and I'm sure this will come up again, but that 4th down throw and catch were incredible. Yeah. And there's nothing Ty Redmond could have done differently.
Agreed.
He was in fantastic position. He played that perfectly. He just got beat by a better ball and a better catch.
I mean, dropped it over his outside shoulder, and kudos to Humphreys for being able to adjust and catch it over his outside. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
Dropped it over the wrong shoulder. And at that angle, that is easily the toughest catch for any wide receiver to make.
Yeah.
So kudos to him catching it and hanging on. That was a big time play. But that was the first opportunity to win the game. Second opportunity was the 2-point conversion. Didn't get a stop there. Third opportunity was the field goal.
By the defensive backs over there.
Yeah, they ran a nice little pick play, and the DBs should have switched. One did, one didn't, and then it was over. And then you get the field goal opportunity, and you don't connect. So 3 opportunities to win the game. You didn't execute, and as a result, you lose. So I'm not making excuses. We had every opportunity to win. But I will also say, if our 2 starting corners play that game, we win by 2 touchdowns. And even if one of them plays, we win by at least 1 touchdown, maybe 10 points.
I agree.
So, not making an excuse, they didn't play, it is what it is. But the reality is, and Kirby Smart even said it after the game, we were the better team. They had bounces go their ways, they made plays when they had to. But if we're at full strength, we absolutely win that game. And, there's a lot of things. Let me just tell you what's going to happen when Jermod McCoy and Ricky Gibson come back. And this is why I have a whole lot of hype for the rest of the season I want to talk about tonight. When Jermod McCoy and Ricky Gibson come back, Colton Hood slides to the nickel. All of a sudden, we have 3 of the best corner covers in the country covering underneath. That also allows Boo Carter to slide back and play safety. Boo Carter is not a good nickel. He doesn't know where he's supposed to be. He still struggles with alignment and assignment. He does not need to be at the nickel. There were multiple times yesterday he hurt us because he was out of position. He is an instinctive fly up and help on the run, read the quarterback's eyes, go be an athlete player. It screams safety. Andre Turrentine is adequate. He's not great. And the more reps we can take away from Andre Turrentine and put Boo Carter back at the safety, the better this defense is going to get. Very impressed with Idris Farouk Saturday. Thought he played extremely well.
Yeah. He made his presence known on a couple hits.
Yeah. Very, very impressed with how Arian Carter and Edwin Spillman played. On my post-game wrap-up that we just give to our members, I think Jeremiah Telander is probably struggling today because he's watching a video of himself playing the worst game he's played as a Vol. I love Jeremiah Telander. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. I think he's a really good player. He did not play well yesterday. He misaligned multiple times. He gave up big runs because of bad angles. He did not have a good day. And when he watches it back, I think he's emotionally mature enough. He'll probably take it and use it as fuel, and he will get exponentially better. But there's a reason Edwin Spillman played so many snaps in the second half. It wasn't because Edwin Spillman was playing so great. He played well. It was because Jeremiah Telander had his worst game as a Vol. And he's got to be better. That he cannot have another game like he had like yesterday. I thought the front 4 defensive linemen were all exceptional. The first 4 guys, Bryson Eason, Dominic Bailey, Tyree West, Joshua Josephs, they played their tail off. Yeah, when those 4 guys were on the field, Georgia never moved the ball. Those 4 guys handled business.
Caleb Herring had a great game.
Yeah, Caleb Herring played well. Jordan Ross played well. When we got into the second string defensive tackles, Nate Robinson, Jamal Wallace, all those guys, they did not play well. They hurt us. But when those first 4 were out there, they were outstanding. So I think there's a lot to build on. Ask me later how I think the rest of the season is going to go, because I think I've got a prediction that's going to shock some people. But
you've been right there. You got to make that watch time right there. That's what I'm talking about.
I love what I saw in a lot of places, and I think this team has an opportunity.
Well, I totally agree. And if everybody recalls, during our preview show, I said I hoped we would be talking about Joey Aguilar. I said, I hope we would. I don't think we will. I think we're going to end up talking about our running backs. Well, no, we're going to end up talking about Joey Aguilar. I also said, I hope that by the end of this game, we're talking about both of these teams as if they should be both top 5 teams, and that these should be both playoff contenders for sure. I said, I hope that's what we're saying when the game's over. Well, I think that's what we're saying after that game. I also, and I just want to throw this out there. So Ruston almost nailed the prediction, because Ruston said that correct me if I'm wrong, but on our preview show, you said we win by a field goal as time expired, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So you should have been right. Like, you should have nailed it. In our rapid reactions that I posted for the channel members, the honorary fam and watch party fam members, I even said, I texted Ruston about a minute and a half before Max kicked the ball, because they kept showing him on the sideline and stuff. And I said, I texted him and my dad, and I said, I don't like the way Max was breathing on the sideline. You could tell he was really nervous, and rightfully so. I get it. And I hate it for him that he missed it. Kudos to him for stepping up and making the one in overtime. If everybody remembers, I said they go into over. I predicted a Tennessee win in double overtime in our preview show. And I said Tennessee would get the ball first. They would kick a field goal. And then Georgia would also kick a field goal, go into double overtime. Georgia scores a touchdown, doesn't convert the 2-point conversion. We score a touchdown, convert, and win. So they go into overtime. Tennessee gets the ball first and kicks a field goal. And I'm like, y'all, it's happening right now. It's happening. Unfortunately, that's where the comparisons ended. But kudos to Max for stepping up and making that one in overtime. Did the field goal lose the game? No, it did not. Did it help? No, it did not. But it also didn't lose it. You know, we were fortunate. We just had Chris Phillips join us for a pre-recorded episode that we're going to post tomorrow, and it's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. He was there. He had a great analysis of it. But listen, let's be real. Tennessee had 3 opportunities to win the game in regulation. Get a stop on 4th down, they couldn't do it. Deny the 2-point conversion, they couldn't do it. Kick the game-winning field goal, they couldn't do it. So Tennessee had 3 opportunities to win the game. And let's be totally honest here. That was probably the weakest Georgia team we've played in years. This was our opportunity to beat them, and we didn't. And that's a shame. Some other general thoughts and takeaways. How could we not mention Joey Aguilar becoming the first, having the most passing yards against a Kirby Smart defense ever in the first quarter of that game? In the first quarter of a game, he had more passing yards than any other quarterback who's ever played a Kirby Smart defense. I mean, that in and of itself is recognizable and an honor worthy of honoring. There we go. Coaching. Let's talk about that for a second, because oh man, that has been a hot topic on the interwebs. People are like, Heupel is too conservative. Listen, something happened. Okay, and
I want to interject there, because I keep seeing people say that, and I'm like, when are we talking about?
I agree. I don't think he was.
When was he too conservative?
I think a lot of people are talking about when it was 3rd and 9.
We're talking about.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were referring to when it was 3rd and 9 in the second half, and they ran the ball. And people are like, why are we running the ball? Well, something happened that wasn't supposed to happen on that play, because they show Heupel on the sideline, and he was losing his mind. Like, he was like, what did we just do?
Yeah.
So somebody did something that they weren't supposed to do on that play. But I don't get the whole critiquing the coaching because, and I'm sure we've had a lot of comments already come through, and there are probably some in there about this very topic. So this will be how I address it, I guess. I hadn't read through them yet. I'm about to. But the man had his team up by 8 points. All they had to do was get a fourth down stop. Dude for Georgia makes a phenomenal throw, and the receiver makes an even better catch. I mean, I can't put that on Heupel like that. He had his team in a chance to win. Now, on the 2-point conversion, you can put that on coaching because they even show on the replay the two defensive backs for Tennessee are sitting there talking to each other about switching, and then the guy who's talking about switching didn't switch. I guess he didn't think the guy heard him.
But even that, I don't put that on coaching. The coaches told them they're going to run a rub route, make sure you switch. The players were talking about switching, and then one doesn't.
Yeah.
That's on the player.
Yeah, I agree.
They've been told what's going to happen. The coach can't walk out there and go, hey, when this guy runs into you and stops, the other one's going to run a quick out, and you've got to leave your guy and go to him. They clearly had already discussed that because the players discussed it.
Yeah.
And then still one doesn't do it. That's on the player.
And then, with 7 seconds left, they try to run one more play to center the ball in the middle of the field. Listen. Just my opinion. That was a weak false start call. Weak. They sat there and showed it on instant replay. I didn't even notice it on a slow motion instant replay. Like how that got called in real time, I don't know, man. Like maybe I just need to go back and just stare at Sham Umarov and see if that then. But even on the instant replay, I didn't notice it. So I mean that was a weak false start call. So Heupel decides, I'm not going to risk it. Losing another 5 yards and going out of field goal range. We're just going to go ahead and do it now. Should he had all 3 timeouts. Should he have run one more play to try to get at least a yard or two back and center the ball? Maybe. But that's risky because what if you get another false start call?
Or a holding penalty. Now you're 10 yards back.
Yeah.
Or you botch a snap.
Sure.
There's so many things that can happen in that moment. And I think the other thing that plays into this is he's watching his team out there getting a false start. He's also watching Max Gilbert on the sideline, who he just asked the play before, where do you want the ball? And he said in the middle. So they were trying to run a play for Joey Aguilar to just take the snap and fall down in the middle of the field so we can get it in the middle and we get a false start. But he also looked Max Gilbert in the eyes. And ABC did, I don't know if you would call it a service or a disservice, but ABC showed all of us very clearly Max Gilbert was not in the right state of mind. His eyes and his body language and his composure was all over the map. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere but Neyland Stadium before that kick. So Josh Heupel's a good coach. He's seen that before. And he's looking at Max Gilbert and going, that expression ain't good. And so he doesn't want him sitting over there for another 10 minutes waiting on another play to be run and a timeout to be called. He wants him to get out there and kick right now so he doesn't have any more time to think about it. So I think we all saw where Max Gilbert was mentally before that kick, and it wasn't a good place.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not a kicker, never have been. If I were ever chosen for college game days, like kick the thing to get the money deal, it would be horrific. People would laugh their heads off at me. Not a kicker. Okay. However, I can venture to guess that in a kicker's psyche, having a 37-yard field goal feels a lot better than a 42-yard field goal. I can neither confirm nor deny that because I'm not a kicker. but it seems as though having a 3 at the start of that number as opposed to a 4 would be a big deal.
If there's any redeeming quality in the whole thing, after he shanked the first one, he went right out in overtime. He
from
reset,
the same spot,
almost identical kick, and he buried it.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign for the rest of the season.
Yep.
He learned from the emotion of the moment. He went back, he reset his brain, and he went out and he executed what he should have done the first time.
Yeah.
That sends a message to every coach there. He's young. He's a redshirt sophomore. He's only done this for a year and 3 games. He learned, and he adapted, and he responded. So he will carry that on. He will get better. And, if he had gone out and missed the one in overtime as well, now we've got a kicking competition on our hands. Now Turbeville's going to get a shot.
Yeah.
The fact that he went out and responded was a really good sign, and he will get better.
A couple other things about coaching. First of all, kudos to Kirby Smart. He knew this was Ty Redmond's 3rd collegiate game ever.
Yeah.
And his first collegiate game against an SEC opponent. Sorry, Ty. Don't mean to throw you to the wolves or anything, but here comes one of the best, arguably the best team in the SEC into your home stadium. And I'm going to give Ty credit. Yeah, they picked on him, and they should have, because it's his first SEC game. But overall, he held his own pretty well. I mean, like, he was okay. I agree with Ruston. If Ricky Gibson and Jermon McCoy both play, we win. Like, I think we win, because if for no other reason, it gives Ty Redmond and Colton Hood a breather every once in a while. Those dudes had to play every single snap of the game. That would have given them at least a chance to catch their breath.
I'll tell you what, it wasn't just Ty Redmond. I think when the coaches watch this back, they're going to have some concerns, and they're going to hope that other coaches don't try to exploit what Mike Bobo did. Now, we're not going to play another Zachariah Branch until Alabama. Right. Jeremy Bernard will be the next Zachariah Branch we'll face. But to Mike Bobo's credit, and he's not typically the most inventive, he did a really good job using scheme and formation to do some misdirection things to force Boo Carter to have to cover Zachariah Branch. And it never paid off for Tennessee. He toasted Boo all day long. When the coaches watch it back, they're going to have to really analyze it and go, how can we scheme this to where Boo's not ending up covering the other team's best receiver, because he is not good in coverage.
A couple other coaching things, there is a definitive moment that all of us can point at and say that is a moment where Josh Heupel got the better of Kirby Smart. And that was in the second quarter. We did not sub. Georgia tried to sub real fast. We hustled up to the line, got a free first down out of it, essentially. It was, I think, 2nd and 6 on the play, or 2nd and 4. And we hustle up to the line, snap the ball. They got like 15 dudes on the field because they're trying to run on and off, and we get a free 5 yards and a first down. That is a moment where Josh Heupel outcoached Kirby Smart. There's no other way of explaining it. That's what happened. And so, if you're a Tennessee fan, that should excite you. The opening drive of the game should excite you if you're a Tennessee fan. We saw plays we've never seen on that drive. Were there some we have? Sure. But we saw plays that we've never seen on that drive. That was a lot of fun to watch, man. And Georgia was shell-shocked.
I want to say it was something like 10 out of – I tried to chart it. I want to say it was like 10 out of the first 11 plays they have not shown this year.
And then one other just fun note before we start reading comments. How cool was it that in the first quarter, first of all, that he got on the field in the first quarter, But even more so, it's a third down in the first quarter, and they ran behind. It was Star Thomas was the running back. They ran behind Jack Van Dorselaer to get the first down. How cool is that for Van Dorselaer? That first of all, he got on the field in the first quarter against Georgia, and then they trusted him enough to run behind him on third down. I think all Vol fans should be encouraged by that. So overall, those are my thoughts. Incredibly heartbreaking. Should Tennessee have won the game? Absolutely, they should have. Was this their best opportunity to beat Georgia in Heupel's tenure? Yes, it was. Could they get it done?
Maybe.
Unfortunately, not.
We may see them again later in the year with a full roster.
Potentially. Yep. So let's go to the comments here and see what everybody's saying. Welcome to all 144 of you watching across all three platforms right now. Let's see what everybody's chatting about in the chat. Slim, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. Slim was on top of it, man. He and Sean both. Both of these comments came through at 8:33 p.m. We didn't even go live till 9, so that's awesome. I love that. Slim said, good old Rocky Top. Sean, welcome, buddy. He was a channel member. He said, good evening. Remember to hit that like button. I see Sean is a wise man. Listen to Sean. That is excellent advice. He said, I've been mixed up.
And what's great about that is it was just him and one other guy on at that moment. So he was literally telling the other person.
That's true. Slim, did you hit the like button? If not, follow Sean's advice. Sean said, I've been so mixed up today. Heartbroken. Absolutely. That's the way I felt for the gut-wrenching way we lost, but also encouraged for the rest of the season. I think that's the best comment of the night right there. Like we're not gonna top that. He just nailed it. That is the correct sentiment every Vol fan should have after that game. I totally agree. Let's see. Mississippi Vol said, good evening to two of my favorite bros. Hey, we appreciate that, buddy. He said, very, very disappointing ending. Absolutely. Totally agree. Still very proud of how they competed. Absolutely. Yes. Totally agree. He said a lot of positives to take away from this one. I agree with that. Let's see. 10 Cup, welcome, buddy. He said, I feel for Max. I do too. Listen, there's nobody who feels worse today than Max Gilbert.
Yep.
I mean, I hate it for him. I hate it for him. The only thing that could have made it, well, making the field goal would have made it better. But the only thing on top of that could have made it better was if it was like what Ruston said, and it had been a 50-yarder or more, and everybody got free cookies because of it too. That would have been awesome. Let's see. Backflip Spaghetti, welcome, buddy. Here's channel member. He said, I don't know about y'all, but this is the best loss feeling I can remember. 0 battered Vol syndrome. There you go. Absolutely. Yeah, I get that. He said, I hope what I'm saying makes sense. It does, man.
It does.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 Cup said we had them. We sure did. 3 chances. And, a lot of people are like, why on second down in overtime did we try to run off tackle to the left? Well, because Georgia's first play in overtime, they ran off tackle to the left and ran for 23 yards. I mean, like it can work. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we did that. And I hate that it didn't work out for us.
You take what the defense gives you. I mean, they go no huddle for a reason. You're forcing the defense to line up and tell you where they're weak. So, any play call we make, it's because we're looking at the guys in front of us and going, okay, there's the spot to attack. Yeah. Run or pass.
The difference was Georgia executed it and we didn't. That was the difference.
Right.
Rebel Juice said, good evening, y'all. Heartbreaking loss. I agree. But we still got a playoff chance. I agree with that. Absolutely. That 100%. He's right. 10 Cup said a lot of their fans know they got away with 100%.
Kirby said it.
Yeah, that's what he said. Even Kirby said, yeah. So I'll be honest with you, his comments really ticked me off after the game. Like, there's not many times when coaches really tick me off, but that one ticked me off. When he said Tennessee deserved to win, we didn't play our best game. That ticks me off because why is it that when our receivers outbattle his defensive backs a la Chris Brazel, that especially that second deep ball that he caught, where he used the defender and if they had wanted to, they could probably call offensive pass interference, and they wouldn't have been able to argue it. But it was kind of like a 50-50 thing, and they gave him the benefit of the doubt. And he just out physicaled the dude and went up and got the ball. Mike Matthews, like we were talking about a minute ago, he straight up out physicaled that dude and went through him to get that ball on the comeback route to prevent an interception. Why is it that that's not our wide receivers just being better than his players? Why is it that his players just didn't play that well? Like that tipped me off.
Because he worked under Nick Saban for a long time. He just says the same thing Saban would have said.
That was the most backhanded compliment I've ever seen. It burned my biscuits, man. Let's see. Rebel Juice said we should have went for a touchdown, not a field goal in the last few seconds.
I disagree.
Yeah, I do too. They had the opportunity to win the game. It should have been a 37-yard field goal. They win.
I've seen that comment multiple times over the weekend, and the same people who make that statement are the same ones who, if he does take a shot at the end zone and they intercept it, everybody's going, "What are we doing? Why are we throwing the ball?" They're the same people who he's trying to run the clock out. They're the same people who you throw a pass, we drop the ball, it's incomplete. People are going, "Why are we throwing it? Keep the clock running."
Yeah.
No, you're lining up. You are set up for a 37-yard chip shot. You run the ball 3 times. You run the clock out. You call timeout with 3 seconds left, and you win the freaking game. And it's on Sham Umarov for flinching.
Yep.
You got to hold your water. Everybody knows what we're doing right now. We're going to snap the ball, and we're going to lay down in the middle of the field, and we're going to kick a 37-yard field goal. You don't flinch.
Yeah.
So
he's not even really going to block anybody on the play.
No, you're not. You're wedging forward so the quarterback can fall down in the middle of the field. That's all you're doing. So that's not on coaches. That is good coaches playing the percentages to win the game. And you have a left guard who got antsy and decided to flinch. But even still, then it's a 42-yard field goal. And, he probably could have run another play and maybe gotten a yard or two back, but he didn't want to risk it. And for a Division I Power 4 kicker who kicked a 50-yarder last week, a 42-yard field goal should not be that hard. And we know it isn't hard because in the first kick in overtime, he drilled it.
Yeah. Well, and he had plenty of distance on the first one at the end of regulation. He just missed it wide right. I mean, the ball would have been good from 55. I mean, like it was, he had plenty of distance.
And I haven't said this yet this year. It's typically an annual thing. I have sat in that box. I sat in that box for 16 years and called plays. There is nothing in all of sport, and I will die on this hill. There is nothing in all of sport harder than calling football offensive plays during a game. Even defense is easy because the defensive coordinator, if they're not sure what to do, they just call base. And we'll just play our base stuff and keep them in front. Okay? If they're not sure what to do, they just go with their base stuff and see what happens. You can't do that on offense. You have to have a play that you're attacking a spot. And you have to play analytics and you have to play percentages and you have to sit there and analyze what is going to give us the greatest opportunity to win right now. And I've told this story before. I was in the box one game and our head coach was getting caught up in the emotion of the moment, and it was 4th and 10. And he's on the headset going, "We're going. What do you want?" And I said, "I don't have a 4th and 10 play. Punt. That's what we're doing. Punt." "No, we're going." "I don't have a 4th and 10 play. Punt the ball." And that's the back and forth that's happening on those headsets. And there's nothing harder than calling offensive football plays during a game. So he played the percentages. He even asked Max Gilbert, "Where do you want the ball?" "I want it in the middle." "Okay." You could read his lips. He said, "I want it in the middle." So he told them all, "We're going to go out there. We're going to line up in a flying V. which was the craziest formation, and we're going to wedge it forward, and Joey's just going to fall down the middle of the field, and we're going to go kick a 37-yard field goal. And if they had executed that and Sham Umarov hadn't jumped, everybody'd be celebrating right now and going, Josh Heupel's a master at end of game management because what he did was right.
Yeah,
and it should have won.
100%. 100%. And on that note, how fun do you think it is for Josh Heupel? Listen, Josh Heupel's calling the plays, folks. Like he's doing that. He's been doing that since he's been at Tennessee. Just so we're all clear,
he's definitely getting more input though.
Do what?
Yeah, he's definitely getting more input though, because we ran a lot of air raid scheme on Saturday. Seth Littrell is up there on the headset. He and Joey Halsley are talking, and there's definitely some integration. Because we ran some stuff Saturday. Josh Heupel has never run.
Yeah.
The touchdown to Braylon Staley up the left sideline, that was gorgeous, and that was an air raid play. He ran shallow cross, and that's a Mike Leach adjustment that Seth Littrell learned from Mike Leach. He ran shallow cross. If the corner sits, okay, and you've just got that one crosser, which was Braylon Staley, he's not open. So you've got to do something to get him open. So they had Star Thomas, I think it was Star Thomas, whoever the running back was, flared out to that corner side, and Braylon Staley ran right at him. And if the corner sits on the flare, you just fly right off his tail up the sideline. There's nobody left for you. If the corner backpedals to take away Braylon Staley, the running back is wide open in the flat. It was a gorgeous play design, and they cooked that corner. That corner had no shot from the beginning of that play. And that is not a Josh Heupel play. That's a Mike Leach air raid play that Seth Littrell brought to that offense.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I like to maybe sometimes do like honorable mentions and stuff in my plays of the game. That may or may not be on that list. I'm just saying. It was gorgeous. And I may or may not even have a video of a side angle of that play from from a person with their phone in the stands that we may or may not be showing here in just a minute.
That was an air raid. That was a Seth Littrell hat tip to Mike Leach air raid special. And I was coming unglued watching that happen. Like that's my world. Like I'm an air raid guy, and I was watching develop one. Holy crap, we're about to release the mesh, and wide open.
How fun do you think Heupel's having this season calling the full playbook? I mean,
having the wealth of knowledge in that coach's room right now with Littrell and Landry Jones and Joey Halsley. I mean, they're just in there scheming stuff. They're like, oh, we're going to do this, then we're going to do this. Hey, we can take this play and add this little tweak. They are having so much fun scheming X's and O's. Like the players have to be sitting in the room right now. The quarterbacks are in the quarterback room going, could y'all slow down and dumb this down? Like you've left us 3 miles behind. What are we talking about right now? I guarantee you that is, I would love to be a fly on the wall in that room because there is some serious X's and O's happening in there.
And how much does that say about Joey that they trust him to do that? Like I love it. I love it. Joey has been the most pleasant surprise of this entire season. He is a match made in heaven for Josh Heupel's offense. I love it. Elijah, welcome, buddy. Here's a channel member, watch party fan member right there. And Elijah had a fantastic week in the college football pick'em challenge this week. Elijah went 8-2. He was one of, let me see. I think you went 8-2, Elijah, didn't you? Let's see. Yeah, he did. He was one of 4 or 5 people who went 8-2. I may or may not have been one of those people as well. I may or may not have jumped all the way up into 3rd place. Just saying. I may show that here in a little bit on the screen. Uncle Dave went 8-2 this week too. That was fun. Our uncle. The only 2 games I missed were Tennessee and Clemson. And I actually was going to pick Georgia Tech, but then I found out that Haynes King wasn't 100%. And at the beginning of the week, there was a chance he might not even play. Like by Wednesday, they were saying it's looking better that he'll get to play. And I was like, well, if he's hurt that bad, I'll pick Clemson instead, because I was going to pick Georgia Tech. Well, I should have stuck with Georgia Tech.
That dude's a warrior.
Apparently. Yeah. Absolutely. Backflip Spaghetti said this one hurts, but not like other games. I get that. Oriole Puppy Dog, welcome, buddy. He said, we have a good coach, but he'll never be great until he learns to go for the jugular. We should have been going for a touchdown. Well, we talked about that. He said Kirby never lets up and wins always.
Let me speak to that last sentence. Kirby never lets up. What did Kirby do that was different than what we did?
Yeah, the reason he went for touchdowns because he had to.
He ran in overtime. He ran the exact same sequence of plays we did.
Yeah. They just blocked and executed.
I mean, we should have won in regulation. We were the better team.
Yep.
Like I don't know what else. Josh Heupel in regulation just scored 38 points and had 500 yards of offense against Kirby Smart's defense. What else does he need to do?
Yep. Backflip Spaghetti said the character of this team keeps me confident. No doubt, man. 10 Cup said that was his first Vol game. Well, I'm sorry that it was decided by a missed field goal, buddy. I'm sorry. There's our Uncle Dave. How you doing, Uncle Dave? He made a good point. He said, is it just me? He said, yes, it's great to have such an accurate gunslinger of a quarterback, but those 2, maybe 3-minute drives, quick score drives, aren't giving the defense much of a break. Yeah, that's fair.
That's what Bennett Warren's injuries are for.
Yeah, it cracks me up that so as soon as that the second touchdown, which would have been the pass to Brazel, that there was defensive pass interference, he caught it and scored anyway. Bennett Warren, I think all nation knew Bennett's going down like after this play, and sure enough, he did. And it cracks me up because he's like, they were stretching him out for cramps, and he had been on the field for one play. And that was
it was hot.
Play. Yeah.
He had to jog from the sideline out there.
Yeah. I was like, Bennett was the dude 2 weeks ago that went down. Could they not have chosen somebody else for this game just to make it look at least maybe it was a real thing? But instead, nope, Bennett, you're still the dude. But yeah, you're right, Uncle Dave. I mean, that was a talking point at the end of the game, right? Like our defense was tired because they've been out there so much.
Well, but they're also
that's part
tired.
of this. That's part of this. The way they're going to play.
They're also tired because right now we only trust 2 corners. They're also tired because we're missing 3 defensive linemen.
Right.
And we don't have depth at linebacker. So, as we get deeper in the season, if we can stay healthy and we get guys back, a lot of those things will get solved.
Yep. Jonathan, welcome, buddy. Great to have you. He said, hello, Evan, Ruston, chat family. Disappointed in the loss, but Joey proved he can play in the SEC. No doubt. He sure did. He said, I feel better about the rest of the season after this game. Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's see. Rebel Juice, I think if we play Georgia in the playoffs, we beat them. I hope so. That'd be awesome. John said, don't forget to tell your mom about the Vol Bros. Yeah, man. Great advice. Let's see. Backflip Spaghetti said the Mississippi State game will tell a lot. You are exactly correct. You are 100% correct. Because kudos to Mississippi State. They've come out guns a-blazing. They are firing on all cylinders right now. I know they've only played Alcorn State this week, but they beat them like 60-0.
Yeah, but they've lost every game 60-0.
Let's see. Oriole Puppy Dog said he can't conservatively beat Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, or any big team. I mean, we
I'm sorry. I can't. I can't understand that comment. I mean, we just threw for over 300 yards against Georgia. What is conservative about that? Like, I just.
Rebel Juice said Oklahoma's a must-win for more than one reason now. I mean, yeah, every game is a must-win game now. Like they can't lose. I mean, like if you get 2 losses, you are flirting with not being in the playoff. You can't flirt with that. You can't leave it in the committee's hands. They have to win. They have to win out. If they want to be in the playoff, to be guaranteed a spot in the playoff, they got to win out. If they don't win out, could they still make the playoff with 2 losses? Sure. But then you're leaving it up to the committee. You can't do that. Because as we've seen, sometimes Tennessee gets the short end of the stick with national selection committees. I'm just saying. And this would be one of those times. Just ask the selection committee for the basketball team the last 2 years. Let's see here. John said, when we get our injured players back, we're going to be very, very hard to beat. I agree with that. Robert, welcome, buddy. Good to have you as a channel member. He said, great game. So sad we didn't get the win. Let's see. Backflip Spaghetti made a good point. He said the second INT was not on Joey. I agree with that. Braylon just literally fell down. Like he just fell down.
Yeah.
That's a timing route. They've run that same route probably 1,400 times over the months of June, July, and August. And Joey knew the timing of it. Braylon knew the timing of it. He just fell down and he wasn't there. And so Joey knew the timing of it, made the throw, and nobody was there because the receiver fell down. So the first interception was 100% on Joey. A couple people talking about that. Jonathan said, I don't blame Joey for the 2 picks. His first pick was a catch, pass interference, or punt, basically. Second one was just terrible luck. Audrey said the first turnover sure looked like it really should have been a pass interference flag. I mean, yeah, I get that. But when you throw it that short of the receiver, it gives the defense a chance to make a play, and they're just not gonna call that because, I mean, the defensive back had the ball in his hands in front of where the receiver was, and so I mean that's a 50-50 ball that they're just gonna let people play. Bottom line on that one is, when you're playing Georgia, you can't throw a ball 40 yards in the air off your back foot falling down. Like you just can't do that. That's a recipe for disaster. So the first one I put on Joey. The second one, dude, that's just bad luck. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's a timing route. Dude falls down. He didn't mean to fall down. He slips on the turf. I mean, it's just one of those things, man. But the first one, yeah, that ball should never have been thrown. Let's see. Dave, welcome, buddy. He said Joey went toe to toe. We lost on missed field goals in the hard fought overtime. Absolutely. Backflip Spaghetti said we scored 41 and left at least 14 on the field. Billy, welcome, buddy. There's a channel member. He said I think they should have blitzed a lot more. Plus bad play calling, especially on that 3rd and 10. Then they tried that field goal. So yeah, so he's talking about that. It was 3rd and 9 that I was referring to. Here's the thing about blitzing. We saw yesterday firsthand that every time you blitz, there is an inherent risk going on in that play. And you know what? Kudos to Mike Bobo. Maybe it was just pure luck. Maybe he saw tendencies and that's why he called what he did. I don't know. But there were 2 times in that game where we blitzed. One was a corner blitz, and he threw right behind it. The other was we blitzed the backer on that side of the field, and they threw to the perfect spot. They had the perfect bubble screen called. They had man-on-man blocking, 3-on-3 with a dude with the ball in his hand behind the 3 blockers. That ended up being a touchdown for them because was there a hold on the interior offense or defensive line? Yeah, there was. Did they call it? No, they did not. But that was a perfect play call, like perfect play call. Did they see a tendency and that's why they called it? Don't know. Could have been blind luck for sure. But we risked it. We ran a blitz and it bit us right in the rear because they had literally the perfect play dialed up at that precise moment. So does it pay off sometimes? 100%. Absolutely. It's in the house. Do you also open yourself up for exposure when you do that? Yeah, you do. And it bit us twice yesterday. Let's see. Brennan. Hey, here's my buddy Brennan. Welcome, Brennan. He said, I'm convinced our coaching staff can work magic with any quarterback. Absolutely. He said, I'm glad Joey came. Absolutely, man. Totally agree. It's been a match made in heaven. Let's see. Getty said that first one was the very same as ETSU game that I pointed out, that interception. Yeah. Almost in the same spot. Yeah, you're exactly right. David said Joey's the top 5 SEC quarterback, no doubt. I mean, it's hard to argue with that after what we saw, right? Now, interestingly, so Ruston tweeted about Joey's comments after the game and how impressive they were, and I agree they were. But one thing that I'll be honest with you, that one of the things that impressed me the most was how self-aware he was.
Yep.
He understood, and he was right. Like, that's the thing. Like, what he said, he was right. He said that, it's my job to put us in position to win the game. And I didn't do that as best as I could. And, when we go back and when you watch the plays, that people were like, we're dropping too many passes, but several of the passes were not catchable balls. Like, Mike Matthews going over the middle in the second half there, Joey fires one. It wasn't the velocity that Mike couldn't handle. It's because it was 2 feet away from him, farther than his reach. Like, that's the thing. He just led him too much, I think it was Braylon Staley had an in route, not a quick slant, but a deep in, not deep, a 12-yard in.
Yeah,
in the
it was
first
a
half.
dig.
Yeah, and Joey just threw it behind him. Like, I mean, did Braylon get his hands on the ball? Yeah. Was it also 2 feet behind him and he's going the opposite direction? Yeah, it's a tough catch, man. And so, like Joey was right. Like, I mean, like there were throws that if he wishes he could have back, because he knows he just missed the dudes. So I personally, I love that about him, that he was that self-aware that fast after the game. Like, you could tell when he walked off the field, he wanted that iPad to see where he missed that throw. You know what I'm saying? And he's sitting over there on the sideline looking at that iPad thinking, man, I should have had that. So he knew, and I love that about him. Like Ruston tweeted, that's leadership, man. He owned up for it. And I personally love that, because that's going to make him better. And I'm going to tell you what, there's a whole bunch of NFL scouts who were watching that game yesterday, and then they heard him say those things after the game, and they're like, I like that. Give me that guy. Like, I like that, because they know he's going to work. Listen, Joey is proving to every single NFL scout who watches him right now that he will work his tail off. Like, he's proven that to everybody. That's exciting as a Tennessee fan, because we hadn't had that in a little bit of time. Like, I'm loving that. We just got a new member, Austin. Hey, thanks, buddy. That is fantastic. Welcome. We are glad you are with us. I'm going to keep going through the comments here. Austin, we're glad you're with us, man. Thank you so much. Let's see. Some of the other comments that have come through here. So I'm at 9:06 p.m. on the comments.
Yeah, let's skip ahead.
Yeah, let's skip it. Tin Cup said, did y'all see where Nico has taken a leave from UCLA? I think that was
is that confirmed? I mean, the reality is Deshaun Foster got fired this morning, so technically Nico has a 30-day window to enter the portal.
Yeah, I think somebody posted something about that as a joke, but I mean, I'm not putting it out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, if I were him and I had a 30-day window to avoid getting murdered, I'd probably jump at the chance. Because if he keeps playing with that bunch of slappies, he ain't going to survive this year.
I mean, talking about multiple concussions and stuff. Tony, welcome, buddy. He said Joey had a very good game. I agree. He said one interception wasn't his fault. I agree. Let's see. Rhonda, there's channel member. She said, good evening, bros. Yesterday was gut punch. Absolutely. She said, but today, when you put things in perspective, we have a quarterback that loves Tennessee and his team. 100% agree. If you watch him doing the vol walk, oh, wasn't that cool? Wasn't that cool? Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you for saying that, because that video of him walking down the vol walk and him just looking around like, wow, I can't even believe this is amazing, and he gets out his camera and is like filming everybody else, like, look at this, how cool this is. I loved that. Like you see that and you get concerned, like, oh, is this too big of a moment? Like he's getting a little big eyed. Nope. He rose to the occasion. He just loved it. He just thought he appreciated being there. That's
The
why I
funniest
love.
part,
Go ahead.
somebody, and I can't remember which camera angle it was, but one of the news outlets in Knoxville caught him filming the crowd, and you can see Chris Brazel walk by him in the background. And Brazel's experienced that level of ball walk before in big games, and he kind of laughs at Joey, like, "Oh, now you know." It was a neat moment.
So a couple people said I thought Gibson was out for the year. There are rumors.
Yeah, that hasn't been confirmed.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Tennessee. Like, they could say he's out for 7 weeks and he's like playing tomorrow. Or they might say, yeah, he's day to day and he's like not coming back for 7 years. I mean, like they they are not forthcoming with accurate information on injuries.
Yeah.
Slim said we have been awesome team and only getting better. Absolutely. Backwood Scotty said Turrentine's bad. David said
he's not bad. He just doesn't need to play as many snaps as he does. He's a spot guy. Same as Jeremiah Thielander right now. He's a spot guy. There's certain plays. Andre Turrentine is awesome in run support. He's really good at it. He's not great in coverage. So they need to start looking at, okay, Jeremiah Thielander's great in run support. He's not great in coverage. So sure, run downs. Okay, here's the guys that should be on the field. In between downs or sure passing downs, here's the other group that should be on the field. But right now they just don't have the depth to make those decisions because they got to get some guys healthy.
David said Edwin Spillman was a firecracker. So one of my favorite plays of the game was Edwin Spillman throwing I think it was their right tackle. It may have been their right guard, literally face down onto the ground.
Yeah.
The dude is twice Edwin's size. I mean, like, the guy is this monster of a man, and Edwin's shorter than I am, and he comes out and he just throws him down to the ground. It's like, I love it. Oh, it was amazing. It was fantastic. Bobby asked a great question. Bobby, thank you for joining us, buddy. He said, does anyone know when we'll be at full strength? Not hearing anything.
Yes, Josh Heupel. He knows. Yeah. And no one else is going to until he decides to tell us.
Yeah, he's the only person that knows because they will not release any. I mean, oh, my goodness. David Sanders Jr. Like, what's going on there? Nobody knows because they're not going to say a word.
2 weeks ago, he almost suited up for East Tennessee State, and then all of a sudden he's just AWOL.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan, there's my buddy Ryan. Welcome, Ryan. Good to have you, buddy. He said, what's up, guys? I like our team, even though we lost. Several chances to win. Absolutely. He said, we haven't seen this offense since Hendon Hooker. Once all the defensive guys get healthy, we can be very good. 100% agree with everything you just said, Ryan. 100% agree. Let's see. Tony. Welcome, Tony. Tony's this is third comment here. He said, Thielander slow. Not slow.
I think the SEC and to some extent the UT athletic department did our defense a little bit of a disservice. I think they felt like Syracuse would be adequate enough to replicate speed and physicality of the SEC, and the reality is they weren't. Syracuse was terrible, and Syracuse isn't getting better. If you pay attention to them the last couple of weeks, they've been bad. So I think some of it was you just can't replicate the speed and physicality of Georgia in practice. It's not possible. Your number twos are never going to be as fast and physical as Georgia's number ones. It's not possible. And so, it would have been nice if we could have played South Carolina or Kentucky or anybody else in the SEC before Georgia so that they could get a feel for the speed and physicality. There were a lot of times we missed angles because I just don't think we expected them to be as fast to the point of attack as they were.
Well, and to Jeremiah's credit, there was one play. It was in the second quarter, I believe. I can't remember which running back for Georgia was carrying the ball, but he was one step away from busting just an absolutely huge play, potentially a touchdown, and Jeremiah caught him from behind, ran him down from the opposite side of the field. I'll give him that too, because Arion missed the tackle, and Jeremiah ran him down from the opposite side of the field and tackled him for only about a 5 or 6 yard gain instead of a 70-yard gain. So I'll give Jeremiah credit for that.
Now, I will also go back to what I said at the beginning of the show. When they watch it back, Jeremiah's going to be real unhappy. I thought he had his worst game as of all, not because of speed, but because of misalignments. I thought he misaligned multiple times, and some of that might be Mike Bobo. Mike Bobo may have created some things that created confusion, but I think he's going to be very unhappy with multiple plays, how he lined up.
Rebel Jew with a great comment. He said, Tennessee stayed at 15 in the AP poll. They did. You're sure right. He said, not sure why Clemson is 12. Me either, buddy. Me either.
Clemson should be about 23 to 25 or others receiving votes. That's
Agreed.
The most overrated.
Absolutely.
I take that back. That's the second most overrated team in America. The most overrated team in America is Arizona State.
Yep. Clemson. There's no reason they should be ranked higher than a one-loss Tennessee team who lost in overtime to Georgia, the number 3 ranked team now. Yeah. Let's see here. Backflip Spaghetti said, Butch Jones-esque, sometimes you lose, you actually win. He said he hated when we got the ball first in overtime. Yeah, I think Josh Heupel did too. Rebel G said, even though it was a loss, it was barely a loss, hopefully a turning point. Yeah, I agree, man. Rhonda said Clemson and Notre Dame should have dropped out of the poll. Let's see. David made a good point. He said, remember, Ohio State lost to Michigan and still won a national championship.
I think they must have seen a parody account, because I just pulled up the AP Top 25. Clemson's no longer ranked.
Well, there you go.
Notre Dame dropped to 24, and Clemson's no longer ranked.
Audrey, I'm loving this comment. She said, why must you mention he who shall not be named? Talking about Butch Jones. That's pretty good. That's awesome. Slim said the receivers played awesome. Absolutely. Ryan said, yeah, Clemson fly out top 25. Not sure why Bama jumped us though.
But here's the other thing. And this is why the AP Top 25 until about week 8 is worthless. Does any rational person who watched Georgia play Tennessee on Saturday night and watched LSU play Florida think that LSU should be ranked ahead of Georgia?
Well, that's like that lady who said, the AP voter who said, it's just for funsies.
Yeah.
Literal exact quote there, by the way. It's just for funsies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell that to the coaches who are one loss away from getting fired, and it's just for funsies. Clay, welcome, buddy. He said, what's up, guys? Even if we lost, we'll be fine this year. Can't wait. Well, that's fair. Let's see. Sean, yes. He said Bennett Brady for Heisman. Starts here, y'all.
We already got him a captain spot. What more do you want from us?
And dude, what a play. What a play yesterday.
Oh, full extension.
Absolutely. Elvin, welcome, buddy. He said, one game, boss game, sucks to lose, but we'll be all right this year. Yeah. I mean, that's accurate. Not sure what the LOL was for, but maybe he's just saying, like, I can't believe people are overreacting. Let's see. David said Nico is a Dollar Tree version of Joey Aguilar. Let's see. Elijah said after the fumble, 3 runs in a row, and we can end the game if we get a touchdown. Backflip Spaghetti saying the same thing. Yeah, I get that, but that was what I was talking about when it was 3rd and 9, and we ran Deshaun Bishop up the middle, and even then he almost broke it for a first down.
Yeah,
he got tripped up by one linebacker. But something happened on that play that was not supposed to happen.
I think
And
one of the guards, there was a double team at the point of attack, and one of the guards was, I think, probably supposed to climb to that linebacker that tripped him up and didn't. He stayed on the double team at the point of attack. And I think what Heupel was losing his mind over was if that linebacker climbs to the guy he was, or that guard climbs to the linebacker he was supposed to, he does rip off a 15 or 20-yard run, and it is a first down.
yeah, I mean, he was one step away from a massive gain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhonda said on Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda, Mina Lackey mentioned you on Twitter during the game. She's like, somebody needs to check on Rhonda. When we went into overtime, it was great. Rhonda said, I honestly can tell you the end of the game could have resulted in a 911 call. My heart rate jumped to the point that I thought I could stroke out, then try to go to a class reunion afterwards. Let's see here. Yeah, Jonathan mentioned Bennett Brady keeping it out of the end zone. Absolutely. Slim said if the Vols play well, it's possible. It is possible to see Georgia 2 more times. It is possible. I don't think, statistically speaking, I don't think that'll happen, but it is possible for sure. So you're telling me there's a chance. Let's see. David said Kirby has had every SEC referee's ear for about 4 years. Let's see. Backflip guy said, I thought they were going to kick with 12 seconds. I came unglued. Audrey said Coach Heupel went warp speed until the very end of the game. At that point, we were tied, had control of the clock, but we run around like squirrels to try and center the ball. Why not just go for a touchdown? I mean, he's just playing percentages, just playing percent. If
they tried to go for a touchdown through an interception, everybody would be losing their minds going, why in the world are we throwing?
Yeah. And if the ball goes to the uprights, everybody's saying that was executed perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
He centers that snap, and the kicker nails a 37-yarder to win the game and beat Georgia. Everybody storms the field, and all anybody's talking about today is what a great game manager Josh Heupel is.
Yep. Ron said people talking about our coaches, do they remember Dooley, Jones, Pruitt?
Yeah.
Let's see. Josh, welcome, buddy. He said, why did Tim Banks stay in press man with backup corners? Like, come on, made it way too easy on Gunner. Easiest thing quarterback can do is just throw up a 50-50 ball. Yeah, but I'm going to give Ty Redmond credit. Colton, listen, let me say this one thing, then you can answer his question. You've done a good job as a defensive back if no one knew you were there that day. A corner, particularly safety, people should know you're there because you're blowing people up with big hits. But a cornerback, you've done a good job if no one knew you were there. Because if no one knew you were there, that meant that they never tried to throw the ball your way. Colton Hood only appeared on the television screen twice yesterday. And both times it was a positive thing.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to mess with Colton Hood. They intentionally tried to pick on Ty Redmond all game long. And you know what? I bet Ty Redmond knew that when he walked out of the tunnel that day.
And Boo Carter.
Yeah.
Like everybody just conveniently keeps forgetting that. And I don't know what this is where we're just trying to protect Boo at all costs, but Boo Carter got picked on as much as Ty Redmond. Ty Redmond's was just a little more negative in the result. But a lot of the completions they made over the middle of the field was them just absolutely cooking Boo.
And I got to give Ty credit. He had a couple plays where they were better than him. I get that. But there were several plays he made. One of my honorable mention plays here in a minute is going to be a Ty Redmond play. There were several times that he made a heck of a play. And even on the touchdown at the end of the game, I'm sorry, there's nothing he can do about that. Like that was just, unless the dude has a 40-inch vertical where he could have stopped, planted, elevated, and like Jermon McCoy last year against, Alabama, and elevated and one-handed intercepted the ball or tipped it or something, maybe he should have done that. But other than that, there is absolutely nothing he could have done to stop that play from happening. So I know Ty had a tough day, but overall, you can't be too upset with the kid. I mean, he played really well for his first game against Georgia, his third collegiate game ever. Okay, you want to answer Josh's question?
I actually thought Tim Banks did a really good job. They didn't execute. And, I think, again, there were a lot of times he had them in positions to be successful, and they either missed tackles or, again, Boo Carter. I can't tell you how many times Boo Carter misaligned. It happened a lot. And because of the issues with injuries, they didn't have a whole lot of options.
Teams know that.
I think Jalen McMurray must be a little banged up as well because he only played a few snaps. He didn't play a lot. When Boo was getting smoked in the slot, I really expected to see more of Jalen McMurray, and they never put him in. So I think he's probably a little banged up too, and they're not telling us.
Yeah, he played sparingly in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, which was when we needed him the most. So I think typically when you hold a guy out for that long, and then when it gets down to crunch time, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, let's go. That typically means he's injured, and you're trying to be strategic about how much you play him. On the fourth down touchdown ball, Ty Redmond couldn't have played that any better. You just tip your hat to London Humphreys and go, that's a heck of a catch. The ball was over the wrong shoulder. I mean, think about it from the wide receiver's perspective. He's looking straight back over his head. He's expecting it over this shoulder. Instead, it's over this shoulder. He's looking straight back into the Neyland Stadium lights.
Yes.
He's looking straight up into the lights. And somehow
directly
he
over
still
its
found
head.
that ball. Right. And somehow he still found that ball, caught it, maintained it through contact on the ground with a guy laying on his other shoulder. Like, Ty Redmond can't do anything about that. It's a perfect ball and a perfect catch. He's going to get better and better. That was indoctrination by fire. He's going to continue to improve. They're going to get these other guys back, and that defense is going to play a whole lot faster, and they're going to do everything well because they're just going to have the depth to handle it. And right now, they don't have options. When you're limited in your two deep and you're having to play guys you don't normally want to play, it limits your overall options. And, I thought Tim Banks mixed things up well. I thought he played some soft coverage. I thought he played some half field coverages. I thought he played press man. He ran some zone blitzes. He ran some man blitzes. He played cover two. He played cover one. Like he threw everything but the kitchen sink at him, and I thought they were in good positions to be successful. And there was a lot of plays where they should have had a tackle for loss or no gain, and we just didn't tackle. And that's not on Tim Banks. He put them in the position to be successful. They have to make the play.
Let's see some of the other comments that came through. Tony said it's a shame Star Thomas only got 9 carries. That's on the I mean, when you have 3 running backs and you're splitting time between them, listen, we all know who they really when the rubber met the road, the last 2 possessions of the game, even on the last possession of the game, Star Thomas was on the field. And then
I
they
actually
took him
thought
out at the very, very end, put Deshaun in, but just for his running ability.
I actually thought the one that was most egregious was I thought Peyton Lewis was really running with authority, and he only got 5 carries.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him more. But the other problem is they were just taking what Georgia was giving them. A lot of times Georgia was putting 6 in the box and walking down a 7th. I mean, Georgia's game plan was clearly we're going to make Joey Aguilar prove he can beat us.
100%.
And so
and he almost did.
you take what you can give.
Yep. Ryan said, I hope we have everyone back after the bye week for Mississippi State. They look much improved. I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on them. They waxed a horrendous Alcorn State team. They struggled against a Southern Miss team that isn't very good. and they upset an insanely, in my opinion, the most overrated team in America, Arizona State, who lost everything but Sam Levitt. And somehow, because he's back, they're magically going to be just as good as last year. And now everybody's finding out they're not. They struggled this past weekend against Texas State. This is not the same Arizona State team. They are nowhere near as good. And, just like we weren't ready for the speed and physicality of Georgia, Mississippi State has faced no one that is remotely close to our speed and physicality. So I'm not a believer in them. They're going to have to prove to me they can play.
John said he's proud of our team and coaches. He said we lost a lot of players and they played their hearts out. I agree with that. Let's see. Mina Laggy's here. Hey, Mina Laggy. She said this game was like riding a roller coaster at Dollywood in March. I love it. Let's see. Rhonda said before the season started, nobody could see that game would be that way. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Thank you for saying that. Brendan said, how about our boy Bennett Brady? Yeah, man. I mean, what a play. What Phil Donahue's back with us. Hey, he said, how can this keep happening to us? I know, man. I know. I totally. So I almost blame this loss on myself because last week I ate some crackers we had pimento cheese from Costco, and I ate that and we won really good. And so, no joke, during the game, I was standing at my refrigerator and I saw the pimento cheese and I thought, maybe I need to eat that again. and I didn't. I went for a different option. And after it, I was like, maybe I should have had the pimento cheese. And I literally had to sit there and explain to myself, no, that did not impact the game. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. Let's see. Sam said, hey, welcome, Sam. He said, I don't feel good about the decision to play for a kick and not trying to go ahead. And yeah, but that, like Ruston said, it's a thing where if it goes in, everybody's like, yep, that's what we should have done. If it doesn't go in, everybody's like, yeah, we probably should try to score. Elijah said Georgia also got away with a couple holds in that first play of overtime. They sure did. They got away with a lot of holds all night. Let's see. John said, what do you want him to say? Had them all the way. He spoke the truth. So Kirby, yeah. I would much rather him just say Tennessee played really well. We're fortunate to win this game. If he says that, that's an accurate reflection. Instead, he gave us a backhanded compliment and then wagged his tongue at the student section as he walked off the field because he in no way was trying to flatter Tennessee at all. He was mocking us. That's what he was doing. And he proved it the way he walked off the field and waved to our fans and wagged his tongue at them. There's video of that. You can get that one for sure. See that on the interwebs. Nolan's here. Welcome, Nolan. Good to have you, buddy. Let's see. Like you said, Bennett Brady is on special teams or special forces. Let's see. Let's see. Seed Vision. Okay, that's the name. He said, no, we didn't play our best game, but you all still should have won. The only thing that you all could say that wasn't your best game was you had some penalties. I don't know how else you could say you didn't play your best game. Is it not possible that our receivers were just better than your defensive backs? Is that not possible? I think the world saw yesterday, even Joel Klatt, who has never said a positive thing about Tennessee, maybe in his entire life, said these Tennessee receivers are legit after the game. So it could be if Georgia fans would take off their red-colored glasses for a moment, it could be that they could recognize that Tennessee's got some dudes at receiver. And they flat out played better than Georgia's defensive backs yesterday. And outfought Georgia's defensive backs yesterday. maybe that's what actually happened. Rhonda said that burned my biscuits. Best comment tonight. Let's see. Mina Lackey wants Thanos. She's ready. She's ready to rock and roll. Let's see. Jeff said, welcome, Jeff. He said, I was very proud of the way Joey and the offense after the second quarter lull came back and responded. I agree with that. Would take the lead and they brought us down for I mean, listen, they responded incredibly well. You score 21 points in the first quarter and 0 in the second quarter. And then you give up the lead and then they have the, mental fortitude to come right back at them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm Audrey. Sorry, Audrey, I missed that one while we were go at that moment. I'm getting close to being caught up. I'm halfway. Well, no, I'm not. But
we still haven't even done the last two questions. Just skip to the bottom. This is going to take forever.
Let's see. Somebody said yes. Preach it, Ruston. Will said the kicker just pushed it. Something that's not uncommon. Just ask Evan in his golf swing. Accurate. Yes. Accurate. David said young wide receivers are proven now. Absolutely. I'm just going through them real fast. Wolverine, nice. That's well played. He said offense is definitely not the problem for this team. Josh said we ran a lot of underneath crosser stuff we hadn't seen in 2 years since goalish. Everyone was wide open. Yep. David said, remember, we didn't have 5 defensive starters. All right, I'm going to skip on down. Auburn fan hopping in. Was very disappointed in the outcome yesterday. I thought Heupel overmanaged the field goal. Y'all are good and look like a playoff team to me. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Let's see. Jonathan said that Ruston doesn't have his mason jar of water tonight.
It's always water.
All right. I'm almost up. Austin said, I'm still excited for the rest of the season. For sure, man. Totally agree. Avery's, I'm guessing Avery's a Georgia fan. He said, y'all some haters, man. If this, if that. Okay.
I very clearly said at the beginning that there were no excuses.
Matt's here. Welcome, Matt. Just jumping in. What a heartbreaker. If Avery is a Georgia fan, I would invite you to consider your own coach's words after the game. He gave a big if. He said, essentially he implied a big if. He said, we didn't play our best game. So he's like, if we had played our best game, then we would have won kind of thing, even more. So, I mean, that comment, I don't understand that at all. Let's see. All the way down. I'm sorry, man. I'm like way behind.
I'm telling you, you're not going to catch up.
Matt said, do you think we'll see McCoy or Gibson at all this year?
Yes.
I mean,
both.
Let's see. Peyton's 5 head. It's because his head's so big it's not a 4 head, I guess. He said, just tune in. Speaking of Miss Angles, T-Lander 100% liability at linebacker. We got Georgia fans joining us now. This guy said, go. I guess that's a dog emoji. Kind of looks like a fox. So go Foxes. We'll do that.
I'm not exaggerating when I say you're like 75 comments behind. Like, just go to the bottom.
All right, well, let's go to our second question here. Second question of the night. And y'all can let us know in the comments too. Hey, Carl's here. Welcome, Carl. Good to have you, man. Carl didn't have so great a week in the college football pick'em challenge, but we're glad you're here, Carl. I always love having Carl here. Ruston, what was your favorite play? You want to do play first, or you want to do player first?
Yeah, it's easy. Again, I'm an air raid guy. I already said this. The shallow cross combination where Braylon Staley got to read the corner and go vertical at the sideline because we flared the running back and made the corner pick was by far the most beautiful play of the day.
See, we don't talk about this before we do this. I have 1, 2, 3 honorable mention plays, and then my play of the game. I had the exact same play of the game as you, because it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. I'm going to show the video of it here in just a second. But I'm like, I'll give my honorable mentions first. So honorable mention number 1, Dominic Bailey. I believe it was the fourth quarter, and kudos to Gunnar Stockton on this, because Gunnar Stockton, this may have been it showed how tough he was more than any other play in the whole game. Dominic Bailey just manhandled the right guard for Georgia, just bull rushed him right out of the way, essentially shoved him aside, and went face first into Gunnar Stockton's chest and just blew him up. And it was a third down play. Kudos to Gunnar Stockton. He stood there. I mean, he's looking at his intended target, which is right over the top of Dominic Bailey's face mask. So, I mean, like, he can see him coming right at him. He knows he's about to get annihilated, and he stood there and made the completion anyway. And I got nothing but respect for him for that play, because that was incredible. I mean, and Dominic just blew him up, man. As far as individual effort, that was maybe the best play of the day for Tennessee. It was incredible. Kudos to Gunnar Stockton. 90% of quarterbacks do not make that throw. That was very impressive. My second honorable mention goes to Ty Redmond. It was actually the play before the fourth down touchdown pass. The play before, Ty was lined up on the opposite side of the field, closest to the Tennessee sideline. They tried to throw a bubble screen out there. Ty beat the defender, or beat the blocker, got around him and made a tackle for loss in a vitally important spot, which brought up a fourth down play. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was reminiscent of when Cam Sutton used to do that. Cam Sutton was the master at that. I mean, if everybody remembers back in 2015, that range, Cam Sutton, you would want them to throw a bubble screen to his side of the field, because he would beat the wide receiver trying to block him almost every single time and make a play in the backfield. It was gorgeous. Ty Redmond did that on that play. That's a true freshman in his third collegiate game ever doing that. But my top-rated honorable mention play was in the second quarter. Excuse me, it was the first quarter. It was the third drive of the game. Dude got free right up the middle in Joey's face, tried to tackle him. Joey eluded the sack, rolled to his left, so his non-throwing arm rolled to his left and threw a dime, probably 15, 20 yards downfield, right on the receiver's chest. It was beautiful, beautiful play. That is certainly is a honorable mention. But my play of the game was the exact same play Ruston had. I'm going to share my screen so everybody, we can all watch it in its glory together. So from this angle, this is my favorite angle of it. Here comes Staley across the field, right, and breaks free. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. He comes across the field and just, I mean, we've never seen Tennessee do that ever. We've never seen that. And that was
because Seth Littrell's never been in the quarterback room.
Look at that. That dude, he had no chance, man. He was beat by 20 yards. It was gorgeous.
When you run it again, try and pause it when I say pause.
Okay.
Pause. All right. See Star Thomas in the flat. So that is the Seth Littrell, Mike Leach adjustment.
Here's Star Thomas right here.
Yeah.
Can you
So
see
this
my
is the
cursor?
shallow
I think you
cross.
can.
So this is the shallow cross. When Mike Leach originally ran it, it was just this. There was no running back. And so that corner, you were just hoping that corner could get your receiver basically could beat that corner one-on-one. And then Mike Leach finally said, why don't we just send one other guy over there and make him pick? And so he started running it this way with that back in the flat and look at the corner, see him flat-footed, trying to figure out which one to take.
Mm-hmm.
And so Braylon Staley, it's an easy read for him. As soon as that corner looks at the running back, he just gets vertical. Look at that. He's 7 yards behind him. That dude has no chance.
I mean, it's gorgeous. He comes across.
And it's an easy read for the quarterback. If the corner drops with Braylon Staley, he throws it to Star Thomas, and Star Thomas is going to take it at least 20 yards because there's nobody out there. If
he's 9 yards away from Star Thomas right there.
And if he chooses Staley and runs with him, he doesn't even know Star Thomas has the ball. So Star Thomas is going to get 20 yards at least. If he sits down and does what he does there and looks at Star Thomas, that's Braylon Staley's cue to immediately get vertical. It's unguardable. It's a perfect play call.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Kudos to the Pirate.
To Braylon Staley. Braylon Staley, I don't think anybody can even argue this. Braylon Staley is by far and away the most improved player from last year to this year.
Yeah. Kudos to the Pirate. Rest in peace. We're still making Mike Leach look like a genius.
I mean, that's just gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. And I love this angle of it. Like, it looks good when they showed it from behind, and during the game, they showed the replay from behind. This angle, man, this is the one. It's beautiful. Love it.
Mike Leach used to have a play sheet with 8 plays on it. That was it. And it would alter based on the formation and whatever the defense did in front of you. And things like that are the type of additions he would make to where his play sheet never got bigger than 8 plays. I think at its biggest, someone told me he got up to 12 once. He'd keep it on a note card in his palm. It was easy for him.
Yep. Rebel Juice said, if we didn't have 5 defensive starters, how big do you think we would have won? Ruston said 2 touchdowns earlier.
Yep.
Elijah threw that in there too. Carl said, not the inning we wanted. Lots of first-year starters. I'm picking who I want to win, not who I think will win in the Pick'em Challenge. He said, lousy strategy, but more fun. There you go, buddy. I love it, man. We love you, Carl. You're the man, dude. Sean said his play of the game was any one of Chris Brazel's touchdowns. Yeah. Okay. So was it his second or the third? It was the second deep ball. I can't remember if that was the second or third touch. I think it's his third touchdown overall. He abused that defensive back, and it was amazing. I mean, he used the defensive back as a tool to catch the ball.
Yeah,
it was nice. Let's see. Keg said Gunner sore today. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oriel Puppy Dog said Gunner took some horrendous hits. Yeah, he did. John said his play of the game was Brazel's touchdown through the pass interference. That would have been his first one of the day. He said NFL scouts like that one as well. Absolutely. Hey, we have a business joining us. How about that? Welcome from Hull, Georgia. All things pressure washing in Hull, Georgia. Welcome, buddy. He said everyone has injuries. Yeah, they do. I would venture to guess not everyone has. Even Kirk Herbstreit on game day said Tennessee secondary are the 2 best the 2 best corners in the country. Both of them were injured. Like, even he said that. So it's not
at least
just us
one
saying
of them. At least one of them is a future first-round draft pick, and possibly both. Worst case scenario, one's a first-rounder and one's a second-rounder. So, that makes a difference.
Javon McCoy is going to be a top 10 draft pick. So, it's nice having those guys out there. It helps some. Let's see. Some folks are giving their player of the games. Mina Leggy said, kudos to Pyro Jesus, the man behind the fireworks. Yeah, that dude is a MVP every Sunday for sure. Mina Leggy says she could watch you break that down all day. Me too, man. It's fun. She said it needs its own show. Let's see. Sam, welcome, buddy. He said offensive line is going to keep this offense cooking. Joey has time and no one will stop the offense. Yeah, you're right, man. Did he take a sack yesterday?
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't remember one. So I mean, that's 3 straight games where he has not taken a sack. John said the Volboro's third show of the week needs to be Ruston breaking down film. I would watch that no matter how long it was. Beckles Getty said I'm having a tough time picking one play. Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, let's do player. So I got it starred here. Like said Joey. Rhonda said Joey and Brazel couldn't decide. Loved them both. I mean, those are both great choices. Ruston, who was, and y'all let us know in the comments who yours was. Ruston, who was your player of the game?
So Chris Brazel was outstanding. And, you know, any other time of year, I would have picked Chris Brazel hands down. He made tough catches. He made huge plays. He won every 50-50 ball. He was outstanding. But I was very critical of Joey in the preseason. I did not like anything of him I saw on video. And I've been saying from day one, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they solve his issues. And I hope that they fix his mechanical issues and his decision making. And they have done that. And he rose to the occasion. And he is absolutely one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the SEC. And this is the prediction that I said earlier I was going to make. If he stays healthy and continues to play, not even at the level he played Saturday, but just continues to do the right things the right way, we will finish 11-1.
That's what I'm talking about.
Preseason, I had us 9-3. Right now, I think we are a very close second for second best team in the SEC. And if you all will remember, preseason, I picked Georgia to win the national championship. Right now, I would probably lean more to Ohio State, but I think it's close. And I will go so far as to say I think we're the number 3 team in America.
Ohio State.
And I would also like to point out that when we did our preseason previews, I picked Texas A&M to beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame.
Yes,
just want to throw that in there.
Yes, you did. You sure did. You sure did. So what I was reading comments. What did you say about a national championship?
In the preseason, I picked Georgia to win the national championship.
Yep.
And I think we are right now, if I had to pick right now, I would say I'd probably lean more toward Ohio State, but I think it's real close. And I think we're the number 3 team in America.
So you're saying right now, and Will love this. Ohio State number 1, Georgia number 2, Tennessee number 3.
Yep.
I think every Tennessee fan should be happy if at the end of the season, if we're in the Final Four. Hard not to be excited about that.
And again, with the caveat, Joey stays healthy.
Yeah.
If he goes down, I liked what I saw from Jake Merklinger, but it's not the same. If Joey goes down, It's a very different world. Just like if Diego Pavia goes down, Vanderbilt sucks. If Diego Pavia is not out there, they're a 6-6 team at best. If he's out there, it's a different animal. Somebody made a comment earlier about Lenoris Sellers. Watch the whole game. Don't look at the final score. When Lenoris Sellers got injured, the score was 7-7, and he was 6 of 7 passing for 94 yards. If Lenoris Sellers plays that whole game, South Carolina probably wins. But as soon as he got injured, they were awful. Like they're not going to win 5 games with Luke Doty at quarterback. So they better hope Lenoris Sellers gets healthy real fast.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you've watched our show for any amount of time, you know that we always do plays the game, player of the game. And sometimes I've been known to maybe have one or more players of the game. Sometimes it's difficult to choose. And when I say sometimes, I mean like pretty much every game I have more than one player of the game. Well, today I've only got two, so I'm getting better. Normally it's like 3 or 4. Today I've only got two, and they play the same position. So, I'm narrowing it down to one position. But I had co-players of the game. Listen, it could be Joey. Okay, I get that. Like that, 100%. Dude, Chris Brazel had 3 touchdowns. It could be Chris Brazel. I get that. Okay, like both of those guys 100% deserve to be the player of the game. No doubt about it. If I were in the locker room handing out game balls, those two dudes would 100% get a game ball. But my 2 players of the game were Caleb Herring and Joshua Josephs, because those 2 dudes lived in the backfield yesterday against Georgia. Those 2 dudes.
Jordan Ross too. When they watch it back, they're going to be real happy with Jordan Ross. He played extremely well.
Absolutely. Caleb Herring and Joshua Josephs made Gunner's day not as fun. And Joshua Josephs was the reason that we had that fumble, the sack fumble. Caleb Herring, I keep saying, I want to say Elijah almost every time. That's his brother. Caleb, specifically 2 plays, was in the backfield so quickly that he almost could have taken the handoff from Gunner when he was handed off to the running back. And the running back took 1 step and was immediately met by Caleb. Those 2 dudes impacted that game yesterday in a major way. That was a lot of fun to see. I was thrilled, especially for Caleb. I was thrilled for Caleb because this is his 3rd year at Tennessee. His first year, he didn't step on the field hardly at all. Last year, he played, sparingly. He's making an impact now. Like he is a lesson for every player, that if you stick with it and work hard, you're going to develop and really turn into something. And I love it for him. I love it for him. So those are my 2 dudes, the players of the game yesterday. Elijah said player of the game is easily Brazel. Totally get that. 100%. Welcome, Bobby. Actually, Bobby had a comment earlier, so I'm glad he's still here. I agree with him. He said Herring gets an honorable mention. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Billy, we're glad you joined us, buddy. Carl said my MVP is Heupel and his staff. I think it's a great choice. He said recruiting to the level at Georgia doesn't overwhelm us with size and speed anymore. Man, you're exactly right.
And being willing to adapt.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw so many play calls, so many formations, shifts, trades, so many different things that they've never done in the past. Like, he went out and said, I've got to get better. I need to learn some things we can add to make us more successful. He went and got Seth Littrell. He went and got Landry Jones, and they have reinvented this entire system. And as a former offensive guy, it is a blast to watch the things that they're doing, because let me tell you, the amount of stuff they're throwing at people, it ain't easy. And they're finding a way to simplify it to where these kids can do it and do it fast. And that is not an easy thing to do.
And to Carl's point, this recruiting is only going to get better, because now we're the highest paid school in the country by their athletic provider. I mean, it's only going to get better. So I think that's a great point.
Virginia Tech fired Brent Pry this morning, which that means all of Virginia Tech's players have a 30-day window, and there's not a lot of them, but there's a couple of them that 1 month throwing some NIL money at and making them balls for next year.
Sure.
So it's open season on Virginia Tech players right now, and there's nobody at UCLA anybody wants, but it's open season on them too.
Sam said Wendell Moy Jr. just because I want to shout him out due to so wide and moves. I think that's a great choice. Absolutely.
Yeah. The whole offensive line. I mean, again, 500 yards of offense against Georgia. The whole offensive line did a fantastic job.
Amen. Austin with a great question. Austin's channel member. He said, is Joey going to get another year because he started in JUCO because of Pavia's lawsuit?
No.
So this year right here is actually Joey's extra year And so he's taking advantage of it at Tennessee right now. So this is that year for him. That's a great question. Sean said not a player, but how about Heupel and Halsley for the play calling? Absolutely. Totally agree.
And Seth Littrell. I'm telling you, I guarantee you, there were a lot of plays in that game that were former air raid stuff that Josh Heupel does not run. Like Seth Littrell had a heavy hand in how that game was called.
John said Joshua Josephs was his player of the game. Jonathan said Brazel and Herring, honorable mentions, but it has to be Joey for proving he can play in the SEC. I think that's an excellent choice. Everything you just said, I agree 100%. It is, you can't deny what Brazel and Herring did during the game, but Joey put himself on the map yesterday. I think that's a great choice. Let's see. Rhonda said, Evan, please try and get Joey's mom on the show. Pretty please. She's so inspired. I think it's a great idea. Let's do it. Like I think it's a fantastic idea. I'll message her. We'll see what we can do. Let's see. I think Matt was loving your player selection there with Joey. Rhonda said the same thing. Backflip Sketty said you were critical, and now look at it, and me, like you said, absolutely. Slim said he agrees with you. That's cool.
I think that was when I made I was watching the comments. I think that was when I made my prediction for the rest of the year.
Oh, okay. I got you. I believe Orange is here. Welcome. Good to have you. Sam said, I hammered the over 8.5 wins before the season. I believed in the offensive line, joining the new receivers. It's looking good. You're exactly right. Absolutely. I mean, like you said, 11-1 is what she said. Stingray concurs with you. Welcome, Stingray. Let's see. Backflip Spaghetti said, I want it, but it makes me nervous when we get in the top 5 in the rankings. I understand. Like he said, standing salute to Ruston. Jeff said, I've been very confident, enjoy this team, and Saturday only strengthened that. This is a playoff team, and kudos to Ruston for acknowledging it. Let's see. Matt said Joey was his player. Let's see. I believe Orange said, Ruston, you think that flag affected the field goal at the end of the game or no?
No. If you were watching the game on ABC and you saw all those camera angles of Max Gilbert's eyes, his body lean, his composure, that thing could have been on the 20-yard line. He was going to shank it. His mind was not in a good place. He was a
little nervous on that one.
And that was long before the penalty ever happened. And they kept showing him over and over. Yeah. And like you could literally, if any human being could see it, you could look in his eyes and go, that kid's not okay. He was not in a good space.
Caleb, Matt said Caleb Herring's a real deal. Let's see. Jonathan said, that's about fall soccer and lady balls and soccer and baseball. So I'm going to keep going. John said he thought Joseph's also. Hunter, I'm not going to read the first part of it, but he said Tennessee played good. I never got the hype y'all gave Nico. We did not give Nico hype. The national media gave Nico a lot of hype. Recruiting services gave Nico a lot of hype.
I think by y'all, he means just the Vol Nation in general, because overall, Vol Nation did hype him up to be the next Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah. People actually critiqued us for how little hype. Like I've got a good friend who still says that we loved Joe Milton more than Nico and all this kind of stuff from 2 years ago. But yeah, I agree with you. We have a great quarterback in Joey Aguilar right now. He's rising to the occasion, and he's proven that he belongs, and it's really fun to watch for him because it means what it should mean to him, and I like that.
Yep.
John said he thought Joshua Joseph as well. Sam said Joey's on pace for 3,600 yards and 36 touchdowns, go 11-1, and he's Heisman. Yeah,
Got a shot.
If all that happens, like if he continues on this pace and we do win 11 games, yeah, he'll definitely be in New York. Like there's no doubt about that. Elijah said Joey's in top 10 Heisman odds now. Who would have thought? Jeff Puckett, right, Jeff? I'll give you credit, man. Like you like my players of the game picks. Oreo Puppy Dog. You're right. He said Bennett Brady should be the player of the game. You're exactly right, buddy. You're exactly right. Great pick. Great pick. Yeah, backflip spaghetti. You're right too, man. Listen, the fact I'm glad people are saying this because they're right. The fact that we're sitting here talking about the great day that Joey had and the great day that the wide receivers had, it's because of the offensive line. Like, I mean, that's why he had no sacks. It's because of the offensive line. I'm glad people are saying that. Elijah said the same thing. He said player of the game, entire offensive line. They've been playing very well. Absolutely. Sam said, I love this O-line. I'm not even sure what to do with David Sanders now.
Just enjoy depth. When he finally gets back, I mean, the reality is we've got two people playing right now out of position. You put him back in and work him in over time until he's starting again. All of a sudden, you got options. You got experience at every spot in tough situations. You've got the ability to move guys around. Like, it's a luxury. And when he comes back, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Jonathan said our O-line should win the Joe Moore Award at the end of the year as long as they keep this up. I mean, that's fair. I mean, their quarterback hasn't. I mean, if you go a whole season and if they keep this up, that means that Joey doesn't get sacked the whole year. So, I mean, like, yeah, if you're an offensive line and you allow 0 sacks on your quarterback for the entire season, that qualifies you as the best offensive line in the history of the game.
And unlike the Heisman, the people who vote on the Joe Moore Award actually know football. So, whoever wins the Joe Moore Award was actually voted on by people who know offensive line play. Whereas the Heisman, they just go pick 30 random people and say, hey, what do you think?
So Pro Football Focus votes on the Joe Moore Award?
Probably no, they do not. But they probably have a Heisman vote.
Let's see. Rhonda, this is a really good question. So Rhonda said, so the players at Virginia Tech and the players at UCLA can transfer right now, but they can't play until next year?
Correct.
Yep. That is how it works. There's a 30-day window that just opened up for every one of those dudes. Let's see. Sam said 41 is the most points on Georgia in the last 4 years, other than Georgia Tech last year, but that was a fluke overtime score. Only us, Alabama, and Ohio State have scored that on Georgia since 2020. That's a good stat right there. John said we have to make Joey good so he gets a chance at the pros. If he keeps playing the way he's right now, he's at least going to make a practice squad. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's a practice squad guy. He's not going to get drafted. The arm strength's not there. But if he continues to perform and they like his moxie and they think, hey, he's a gritty kid, he's smart. Look at the amount of offense he picked up in a short period of time. That's gonna speak. Pro scouts are gonna recognize that faster than anything. Because you've got a coaching staff that's adapting the offense in real time. He's coming in totally blind and learning everything on the fly. He's picked this up way faster than Hendon Hooker did. So his intelligence and his moxie is what's going to stand out most to pro scouts. They're going to knock him on his arm strength. But
right.
Definitely a guy you want on your practice squad because he's also a good locker room guy. He's a guy, the NFL values that. They value guys who are good in the locker room. And so I could absolutely see him making a practice squad.
Carl said Nico's next NIL will be $50,000 with Butch Jones at Arkansas State. That's pretty good. Jeff said 100% Ruston on Seth Littrell, so he agrees with you. Carl said need to give Ruston a Vols by Fitty shirt. Yeah, Carl. So Carl was talking about what Holly Rose said on air. You're right. So even she noticed how much he was breathing and taking deep breaths. And she was kind. She was nice to him. And she said he's trying to calm himself down with some deep breathing exercises. I'm like,
Which
nah,
is
that ain't
code
what he's
for
doing.
yeah, which is code for he's hyperventilating.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Nolan said, if we win at the Swamp, if we beat Bama at Bama, but once again lose a game we shouldn't, like Mississippi State or Arkansas, do you think we make the playoff again at 10-2?
Depends on what the rest of the country does.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would have to lean no, because like Rustin said, it depends on what everybody else does. But I don't think we can trust the playoff committee to be favorable toward Tennessee. I just don't think we can. Like he says, she never understood the hype for Nico either. Figured it was just a way to justify the amount of money paid to him.
Yeah.
Nolan said he saw Joey had the best Heisman odds as of 4 p.m. yesterday, an underdog. That's what I'm talking about. I believe Orange said, is this the best offensive line since Philip Fulmer days? I wouldn't say that. 2012, when you had Tiny Richardson, Jawan James, gosh, I can't think of who the right guard was. He started for the Kansas City Chiefs for a while.
Trey Smith.
Well, that would have been before Trey, because Trey ended up at the Chiefs as well. But that offensive line, Tiny Richardson, Jawan James, that was at least 3, maybe 4 of the dudes ended up playing in the NFL. So that was the stout offensive line 2012 with Tyler Bray, quarterback, that group. Gator Tooth, glad you're with us too. Clearly you are fantastically well versed in the English language. Let's see. Malcolm, welcome, buddy. He said, am I crazy? Or does Joey or season remind anybody of Daryl Dickey when he came after Robinson was hurt? Not his skills, but the command. So that's a impressive callback right there, buddy. To the early 80s. That's an impressive callback. Unfortunately, Ruston was just born when that happened. I was not yet born when that happened. So I would love to comment on that. Unfortunately, I just don't think I can.
Yeah, that was 82 to 85. So I would have been 4 to 7 years old.
Yeah, I was going to predict like 81 or 82. So I would have been close. I was born in 85. So that was, I love that comparison, but I unfortunately can't speak intelligently about it because I was not existent at the time. Let's see. And Elijah makes a good point. He says no team's going to use a draft pick on a 25-year-old quarterback. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right.
No.
Jeff said, well, okay, yeah, you're right, Jeff. There was a botched snap where Joey had to fall on the ball.
I don't count that as a sack.
Yeah. Let's see. That was a really cool question by Malcolm, though. I'm glad he said that. That was cool. Let's see. Backflip Spaghetti, glad you're with us, man. Appreciate you. John said, I'm glad we have Joey, not Lagway. I think that's fair. Let's see. Sam said, I actually disagree. I think 10-2 is in for sure because it's a TV show too. The Tennessee story this year is epic. I get that.
There's some validity to that. If we light the world on fire offensively and we're averaging 40 to 45 points a game, the NCAA is all about money.
Right. Well, that's what I was about to say.
Ratings.
That's what I was about to say. At that point, it becomes about money. And they know Tennessee will travel. And Tennessee's going to watch the game. And they're going to sell advertisements. And so, I get that. Slim said, great show, man. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you, buddy. Stone, that's what it was. What's his first name? Dadgummit. He said we had Stone, James Richardson, and one other guy that played in the NFL. Absolutely. I cannot remember his first name, though. It's killing me. Let's see. I believe Orange said, I thought Ruston was 35.
Not in a very long time.
Let's see. Jeff said it was 1984. So, yeah, that was the year before I was born. Let's see. Carl said his last game at Neyland was in 85. He said, I thought Evan was 25. I appreciate you. I bleed orange. I appreciate you. I am. I'm 25 years old. Definitely not a day or 15 years older than that. I am 25 years old. That's what I'm talking about. Elijah said, come on, Ruston, you're supposed to know this stuff. You were 7 at the time, man. What do you think? You should know that. You should know it. That's pretty good. Mississippi all said 85, the year of the Sugar Vols. Stingray, we're glad you joined us, buddy. Thank you. Nolan said, can we all take a moment to talk about Star Thomas? The guy's special. Not quite Camara level, but he's got some juice for sure. I think we need to use him more. Yeah, man. I mean, he's phenomenal. I love him.
They will use him more. Georgia just didn't allow it. They wanted to stop the run and force Joey to beat him, so there just weren't many opportunities.
Let's see.
And it was James Stone.
Elijah said he was negative 18 years old, and he knows this stuff. Much respect, Elijah. Much respect, buddy. I respect that. That's good. Carl said David Stone. Maybe that's what it was. I just can't remember.
No, it's James Stone. There was Jawan James and James Stone.
That's what it was. James Stone. Yeah, that's what it was. Well, to the 587 people watching across all 3 platforms, y'all are awesome. We've been live for over 2 hours. This has been a lot of fun. We do appreciate everybody joining us. Hey, I want to let you know, tomorrow afternoon, be jamming. Okay, I got to say this. This is a really good comment. He said, Elijah said he doesn't know that stuff. He just lied. B Jammin said 85 was all about the Bears. I do remember that. Actually, I do remember that. I believe Orange said we love this channel. I appreciate that, man. John said he was 28 and 85. Hey, man, I love it. That's what I'm talking about. We do appreciate everyone. He's 40 now is what he's saying.
We're 68.
Nah, he's 40. But we so appreciate everybody joining us. We love this, man. We love talking to you all. We love hearing your opinions. I will let everybody know tomorrow afternoon. Be on the lookout. We have an interview coming out tomorrow afternoon with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. He was at the game yesterday. It was really cool. He's not a Tennessee fan. He's just an unbiased. He tries to be unbiased SEC fan. And he said what he had to say about the game yesterday, the atmosphere, being there. It was really cool. And so I think you will really enjoy getting to hear his take on the game yesterday, on, just Tennessee football in general. We do appreciate all y'all joining us. Jonathan said, great show as always. See everybody Thursday night. I listen to this podcast. It feels 6 hours long. We appreciate you, man. That's awesome. Thank you. Jeff said, awesome show, guys, as usual. Best football podcast. Wow. Thank you on YouTube. That's awesome. And he said, also, let's not forget to keep the Kirk family in our prayers. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Elijah said, night bros, good stream as always. We appreciate you, Elijah. Thank you, buddy, for being a Watch Party fan member. Mississippi Vol said, love the show as usual, guys. Looking forward to Thursday. Absolutely. We'll be live Thursday night. I'm not sure what day that is, what the date is. Is it the 14th? Something like that. No, today's the 14th.
Today's the 14th. That would be the, 18th?
18th, I think. Yeah. Okay. So this Thursday, the 18th, that's when we'll be live again.
Got to preview the Fighting Trent Dilfers.
Yeah, absolutely. The random 12:45 kickoff this upcoming Saturday. Let's see. Sam said, too bad you didn't get to see Dale Jones. But Ruston did, but Dale's sister was my babysitter as a kid. No joke.
Yep.
No joke. Let's see. John said, good show. Hey, we appreciate you, John. Austin said, great show, fellas. We appreciate you, Austin. Thank you so much, man. Like you said, I love this show, love this chat, fam, love this team. Totally agree with you. Absolutely. Mississippi Vol, let us know it's the 18th. Thank you. John said, best football show on YouTube. Man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. Rhonda, she said, great job, bros, in chat. Definitely made me feel better after the game. That's what I'm talking about. This is the best chat on the interwebs. Mina Leggy said Dale was a dog. Yeah, he was. He sure was. Austin said game day made a mistake this week. Let's watch Lightweight throw 6 interceptions. Well, thank you all so much. We appreciate you. Austin, we're glad you're a channel member with us now. Thank you for that, buddy. We hope all of you have a great, great evening. Go Vols, baby. And we will see all of you. Carl said good night. Don't forget to fade my picks. Hey, speaking of that, the week 4 games are now available on our website. And there's a lot of really good games. There were so many good games this week that I have a whole list of really good games that I wanted to include and I couldn't. There's
Like
just a
Tennessee
lot
UAB.
of really, yep, that's one of them. Absolutely. Absolutely. But like Tulane and Ole Miss, that's going to be a good game. I couldn't include it. Arkansas at Memphis. Currently, the spread is only 6.5 points. But there's other better and more important games. So there's a lot of good ones this week. So everybody go check that out. Week 4 games are now available. Hope everybody has a great evening. Go Vols, baby. And we will see all of you Thursday night.